Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Muhammad Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia. And on this episode, we have a special guest, Michael Johnson. Michael is the founder at Trading for Keeps. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Michael Johnson. Michael, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. Excited to be here, Siddique.
Yeah, wonderful. So, Michael, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to get started with Trading for Keeps?
So I am just outside of Raleigh, North Carolina, a small town called Cary. And I was working a day job and I just didn't like to do it. I didn't like to spend my time working for somebody else 12 hours a day. So I just decided to start something. And so I started getting into the market about 2017 and I started a blog just to say, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm trading. And it went nowhere. I lost money in the market and and nobody ever came to my blog. Nobody ever read my blog, but I wrote it. All right. That was the important part. I wrote it and I got experience. 2 years I wrote that blog and I've turned it off at this point now, but it got me years of experience writing. I go to the stock market conference trying to learn a little more about the stock market. And they say, hey, we're looking for writers. I said, well, I've been writing. I'll go and just see if they'll take me. So all of a sudden they started paying me to write for them. And with 1 month of writing for them, I made back all the money I had lost, in my writing my blog. So being able to write for them kind of gave me more insight and more knowledge about the stock market. And I've just slowly grown from there. When I just recently had a baby, she's 5 months old now. Wow. And after she was born, I knew I couldn't keep doing both. I couldn't keep the full-time job and keep writing. And plus, I was kind of starting to work on my own brand a little bit. And so I went to the team I write for, and I said, something's got to give here. And they said, well, what would it take to bring you on full-time? And I got to name my price, and they brought me on. And I do that essentially part-time, maybe 4 to 6 hours a day. And then I work on my live stream, Trading for Keeps. And it's a live stream and a podcast. I kind of work on that on the other hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is good. So tell us a little more what you do when you go to live stream this one, what that means, someone who doesn't know this.
All right. So live stream is just, I share my screen. My head is down in the corner, but my whole screen, exactly what I'm doing, what I'm trading is live there for everyone to see. Every single dollar I make or lose in the market is on full display. You can see it. There's no secrets. So if today, for example, I ended up down $300. I took a few trades. They just didn't work. I cut the loss. I got out. Yesterday, took a few trades, up $600. So, but the thing is, a lot of times you get these people out there and they try to show you, oh, I only, here's a screenshot. I made this much money today. But you don't see their losses. Traders make money sometimes and lose money sometimes. The goal is to make more than you lose at the end of the day. But it can be a little bit tough. And so I think my goal is to be out there for new traders and just saying, hey, not everybody's making money every single trade. Nobody has 1,000. Nobody bats 1,000. You're going to have some misses. You have to handle your losses to allow the wins to really work out for you.
Mm-hmm. So how long ago you started this, and at which level you started, how much capital you put it inside, and then where the balance is right now? Hopefully it's on the higher side.
Yes. No, we're definitely on the positive. I started with about $5,000 back in 2017, and I managed to turn 5,000 into 20,000 in 2017, and then 2018 I managed to turn $20,000 into $10,000.
Okay,
so now I've actually grown that account back up, and it's up to $35,000 now. So it's a small account, and I think that makes it a little more relatable too. Yeah. I could probably deposit more into it at this point, but I like just trading with that smaller account and growing it and seeing where it goes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. So I'm sure you have a lot of lessons in that, from 5,000 to 35 to 5 to 20 and then to 10. And so what are the top 3 mistakes the new traders do so they in their trades?
So if you want to actually start trading, I think the biggest thing is to invest in some education for yourself. Figure out, because you don't know what you don't know coming in. So one of my biggest mistakes when I started off was I just tried to do it myself, and I ended up having no clue what I was doing, and ended up having some wins at the beginning, but then all of a sudden had some big losses too. So I think that one of the biggest mistakes that I made was not investing in my education first. It took me I did that about a year in after I took my big loss. Mm-hmm. And then another thing is just, another thing people do that one of the biggest mistakes I see people making is they wait. Don't wait. There's no point in waiting. You just got to get started. Whatever you're doing, if you want to be a writer, write 100-word article a day. If you want to be a stock trader, take a 10-share trade. You can do those for free right now. And then also, don't be afraid to reach out. That's another mistake. Don't sit there by yourself. It's amazing the people that I've met, even with my podcast. I get turned down sometimes when I ask people to come on, but it's amazing how many times that people say, "Oh yeah, I'd love to come on." I've got some really big guests coming on in the next couple of weeks that I'm really excited about. But I never would have thought they'd come on my podcast if I hadn't just asked them.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Yep,
you showed up.
Exactly. There's so many good people out there that are just looking to help each other out.
Absolutely, the power of ask. You have no idea what can happen. Just ask. Simply ask.
Yeah, I always figure, worst case, once you're told no a few times, you go, okay, well, that's the worst thing that can happen is they can tell me no.
Yeah, but if you don't ask, you are in the same place anyway. It doesn't matter. So
exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah. Oh, great. So this is good. So of course, there are a lot of positive sides too. You have a lot of success secrets to share with us from 5,000 to 35,000. I wish everyone who is watching, if they're trading, I wish my account has grown from 5,000 to 35,000. So what are your top 3 success secrets?
So the success secrets are, just get started. Just start trying. And, I mentioned the education, but just continuing. When the times are tough, you have to push through. So get started and keep moving forward. You just, a 10,000 step journey is starts with a single step, or a 10,000 mile journey starts with a single step. And there's gonna be some pain along the way. You just got to push through it. And it's, I tell people it sucks sometimes. It's funny. I've met a lot of people in this industry. I'm actually an ultra runner myself, which means I run links that are longer than marathon. But I've met so many people in this industry that are ultra marathon runners, and they're not necessarily the fastest people in the world, but they know how to deal with pain to get to the next step. And then another one, I mentioned reaching out, but don't be afraid to ask for help. Just reach out and ask for help. When you're unsure about something, find an expert, find somebody else that knows the field, and just ask them. I can't answer all the questions for you, but usually I can say, okay, this person can help you with that, or read this book. It really helped me when I was struggling with this. So just reaching out to people is one of the best things you can do. I always tell people, follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. It's always follow for follow. And my DMs are open. Unless you're like nasty, my DMs are open, and I'm always happy to help. I'll share whatever resource I can with you because I want people to succeed. And then last little secret, there's no get rich quick. Doesn't exist. You have to put in the time and effort.
I thought I'd figure it out. I was looking for that magic. You said there's no get rich quick.
There's no get rich quick. There's no magic. There's no secret sauce. There's no secret holy grail formula. You have to put in the time and effort. You have to grind it out. But there is a lot you can achieve when you just start putting one foot in front of the other.
No, that is amazing. Definitely the last one is a very, very important one because everyone's looking for a quick magic, and they have been looking for so many years.
So, and that's one of the things, it's interesting. I'll see people will reach out to me sometimes and say, hey, tell me how to day trade. And I go, here, read these 3 books first. And, and then follow my, and I'll email you my watch list every morning. I do that for free. And then I go back and I check and I say, they haven't opened one of the emails, so, it tells me that they don't really want it. They just wanted something, a get rich quick. But, I don't think get rich quick exists except if you get lucky with a lottery ticket.
Yeah. So is there anything else you like to share, which I didn't ask?
Well, I'd love to anyone that's interested in the stock market, day trading, join me, go to tradingforkeeps.com with the number 4, tradingforkeeps.com. There's links to our podcast. There is links to the live stream that goes from 9:20 till about 10:30 every single day. The market is open, and I'm there sharing my screen, paying attention to the chat as much as I can. And yep, there it is, tradingforkeeps.com. And, and also while you're there, you can sign up to have the watch list delivered to your inbox every day, and a day you don't like it, it doesn't do you any value, unsubscribe, no hard feelings, but it's a free resource there. You can just have it, my market notes. I usually do very, very short notes, what the market's doing, what's hot that day. It's a 1 minute read usually. And then if you actually are interested in what I'm trading, I'll give you, depending on the day, it's usually between 10 and 20 stocks, but lately the market's been crazy. I had 34 stocks on my watch list this morning, but I also provide the key levels that I'm watching it at. So, like I said, it's a free resource. If it provides value, great. I know a lot of people have enjoyed seeing it.
Understood. Someone is asking the question based on your bio, because we put a bio, you are a finance copywriter, in the financing industry. So his question came as how to learn a copyright. So someone's starting point as a copyright. Remember you said in your
yes. So I still do, and I'm so just start writing. I don't necessarily know if I'm the best copywriter in the world. I just started writing, and I didn't even when the person that hired me on said, I saw their signature said lead copywriter. I was like, oh, so she must be like it's like trademark stuff. I didn't even understand what it was, but I think one of the biggest things about copywriting is making sure you're providing value in the copy that you're writing. And then, if you got a sales pitch or whatever, you can certainly tack that in, but put some value in there. But I would just say start writing. I think there's plenty of resources out there. There's books, just you go to Amazon. I would just start reading and start writing. But there's no replacement for actually writing, getting in there and putting words on paper.
Yeah. Before you write, you have to read first. So you have to gain that knowledge before you can put in the words. So
yes, sometimes I have to do some research, and then a lot of times I'm old school. I usually have pen and paper. I just, I'll be walking around with the baby, and I'll maybe jot down a note here and a note there, and just kind of start thinking of some things that I want to say. Then I have like a three-phase process. The first one I call it a word vomit. I just get words on paper. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to have every question answered. Your statistics don't even have to be right. Get them on paper and then walk away from it. And then I come back and I edit it. And that's when I start to make sure that all the numbers add up that I'm referencing. And I try to make sure that it makes sense logically and it's in order. And then once I do that 1 or 2 times, I come back, I actually print it off. I told you I'm a pen and paper guy. I print it off and I walk around and I read it. And I sit there with a red pen and I mark it up. And then finally, once I've done that, so I'm probably going over it 4 to 5 times total, then I'll go ahead and submit it to my editor. And sometimes they still tell me I screwed something up, but you got to keep pushing forward, right?
Yeah, definitely. No, that's great. So how to get started is dump it, whatever just dump it. Basically, don't even think it's making sense or not. That's a great point. So instead of trying to correct everything right in the first sentence, you get like a writer block, then you never really move ahead on the next level.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm writing about like a Tesla, for instance, that's up like what 20,000% or something. If I have to mention Tesla, I go, oh, Tesla's up, and I just go XXXX%, and I move on and I make the point that I was trying to make. I don't try to stop and say, oh, how much is it actually up over the year, year-on-year correction or anything like that. I just try to, any of those numbers, I get those on the back end. Yeah. I just try to make the point initially that I'm trying to make.
Great tip, and I really appreciate it. As we are about to wrap up, I like to ask this question to my every guest, and I'm going to hold my breath. Let's see what you say. What would you say to your best friend about a growth hacking secrets, the show where you are on right now when I'm not there?
I would say that Siddique's a great guy. I can't believe I was so excited when he reached out to me. It sounds like I watched some of the other episodes. I hadn't heard of you before. And so I enjoyed coming on. I was excited to meet you and just talk about my business a little bit. And I'm excited to grow and see where it goes. And I hope this is only the beginning of a relationship with you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your kind words. Really appreciate it. Friends, you're watching this live or recorded, doesn't matter. You owe it to our guest, at least tradingforkeeps.com. Check it out. See if it makes sense for you. If you are in trading, if you're not in trading, and you're just exploring, talking to yourself, that's still a good point to start.
Absolutely.
Tradingforkeeps.com. So, Michael, as we are about to wrap up, what would you say as a final word?
If you can get anything, you can do anything. I think anyone can do anything if they really set their mind to it and start working towards it. And if you don't know what you're working towards, don't worry, just start working. I didn't know where I was going to end up when I started doing this 3 years ago, but I started something and I started writing just to get it out there. I did not know I'd be a professional writer in 3 years. So get started.
Get started. Do that. Thank you so much, Michael Johnson, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Muhammad Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. All good wishes.